Hello, welcome to Hyperdog Digital. This is Scott. Today, we're going to take a look at the Jedi Challenges AR headset and lightsaber from Lenovo. Ready? Alright, let's go. So right here are the main components to the Jedi Challenges. This is your tracking beacon right here, and this sits on the floor and is kind of your central point of reference. The holocron that comes out and all the map and everything is centered on this. So you pretty much set this in the middle of the floor, turn it on, and that's where you need to look for the map and all the action basically. This is run by two AA batteries. And it does come with the batteries, so that's nice. And then there's a switch on the bottom that turns it on. There's two settings. There's 1 and 2. 1 actually turns it on to pink, and 2 turns it on to blue. Now I've only used for the game so far. They've only asked me to turn it on to pink onto position 1. So I don't know if blue comes later or is for something else. I've yet to discover that at this point. Of course, you have the lightsaber, and this is a replica of the same lightsaber that Luke Skywalker used, Rey in the new movies, and then Anakin, of course. There are a couple of functioning buttons on here. This button here works. There's a button right here, and then on the bottom you have a charging port, indicator light, and the on-off switch. And of course, you turn the switch on, and there you go. Now this light does change. I believe it starts with the white or the kind of bluish here, and then as you progress, you have the option to change it to a different lightsaber color. I've made it up to green, but that's as far as I've made it. I believe the other color is purple that is available, but that looks like the only ones that are available up to this point. It's got a nice weight to it. It's not very heavy, but it's definitely easy to hold on to. And it just is really cool to play with, that's for sure. Here is the AR headset. It has obviously a strap on it, and this looks like your basic kind of VR headset. And I want to make sure I make that distinction. This is not a VR headset. This is an AR headset. And the big difference is that you can see out at the front here with most VR headsets, pretty much all of them I can think of. This is blocked. You put the phone up here, you can't see out of it. You're not meant to see anything else. This allows you to see the room around you, the people around you, anything else that's around you, but you also get the action on the screen as well, so it's pretty cool. The strap is adjustable. You have an adjustment part here on the top and on both sides here. Now the bad thing about this though is that it adjusts very well, but unfortunately it doesn't fit very small heads. And when I say very small heads, I'm talking like probably smaller kids. I have a 5-year-old daughter who actually absolutely loves playing with this, but it just does not fit her head. I have to actually kind of hold on to it and hope that she can't really move around or anything. She has to sit still in one spot. But other than that, it's a little heavy on the front, but really once you adjust it right, it doesn't feel that bad. And once you get into playing it, you don't even notice the weight. I mean, you're just playing the game. You don't really even notice. At least I didn't. So I don't think it's really that bad. You do have a couple of buttons on the side that you can use during the games. You have a menu button, a select button, and a back button. I don't really use those much, but you can use them to back out and look at some settings and look at your stats, basically. On the front, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it in the camera because of the glare, but you do have two fisheye lens cameras here, and those are used to track the lightsaber tip and the beacon and kind of just tell you where you are and where the lightsaber is and that kind of stuff. Now, if on the other side here, you open this up, and you have a charging port here. Now this does have an internal battery, so you don't need batteries for this either, but you do have to charge it. And both the lightsaber and the headset use a micro USB connection. It does come with those, but you can use any one that you might have laying around. Now you also have this tray, and this is what the phone will sit in. You just basically have to pop this open here. and the phone will slip inside, and I'll show you that right here. The phone just goes in here like that, and then you have a couple of sliders, top and bottom on the side, that snug it into place. You lock it in. The screen will be right here, and it'll just be this area that's visible. So you take it, slide it right back in. And then you have a little connector like this. And this actually came with several of these. I'll move this out of the way so you can see it a little better. This actually came with several different versions. This one you can see has a USB Type-C connection, and then the micro USB, which plugs into the headset. You have some that come with the Lightning connector. You have some that's micro USB on both sides. There's a couple others in there. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but you have those so that once you place the phone in there, you slide this into the phone, and then it plugs into there, and that's how the connection is made to the headset and to the phone. All right, so I talked about you know, the weight of this thing, and the strap being not adjustable for really small heads. You know, kind of minor things. The other things that I want to mention on here is that with the app, you do have an app that you download, and you can download that off of either one of the app stores or any of the app stores. The app is really good, and we'll take a look at that here in just a bit. The only problem I do have with the app is that there's no way to exit out of the app when you're done with it. When you're done playing, basically you have to take this out, you have to unplug it, pull the phone out, and get back to your screen and just kind of force close it by you know, hitting the home button or something like that. Not really a huge deal, but it'd be nice if there was, you know, some kind of exit or back out function, so that you didn't have to basically force crash the app to get out of it. The other thing that I will say about using the lightsaber dueling, of course, is probably the best part. Really, it's the most fun. And the only problem I do have with that is it actually works very well until you start going really quick. When you're swinging around really fast, it tends to get out of sync pretty quickly. This button here is actually used to get you back into sync, but you have to kind of hold it still for a second, get it in sync, and then it will, you know, you'll be you know, straight on and synced up with the tip of the lightsaber again. But as I said, when you're going real fast, when you're trying to do a lot of blocks, it has a tendency to get off, and usually ends up in you taking some damage in one of the fights. But let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the software, the app that comes with it, and see how that looks. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Jedi Challenges app. Okay, first thing we're going to do is turn the sound down. Now, unfortunately, I wanted you to be able to hear the sound, but with the sound on, you really can't hear me talking at all. So it's really difficult to show you and talk to you what I want to do with the sound on. But as you can see in here, you can turn it up a little bit. If you're using headphones, you can turn on the 3D sound, which sounds really awesome. Setting up using this this app to set everything up is really awesome. They did a really good job of walking you through setting this up. You can click on each one of these, and when you first set it up, you actually just swipe through one and the other. Since I've already gone through it, then I have to just click on each one here. And this one will tell you, if you don't have the lightsaber on, go ahead and turn it on. And then when the lightsaber does actually sync up, then this will go green. You'll get the green check mark. I've already got it on. It's already synced up. And then you can do some calibration, and to do that, you just do that nice little figure 8 that it's doing there, and it'll tell you it's calibrated. And tells you to put batteries in the beacon, make sure it's working, turn it on to pink, put it in the middle of the floor. Then you have that cable, and it asks you to put that on, put it on a certain way, so you're ready for that. Make sure the stopper is in the correct spot, and you want to put that in the correct spot depending on how big your phone is, and it explains that to you in the instructions when you first go through it. And then of course there's a tray. It tells you to, this is how you put in the tray. Make sure the cable is facing this way. Put the sliders in so that it's holding the phone real tight. And once you're done with all that, then you just slide to the side, and this is the screen that is going to show up as you saw in the tray. This is the only part of the screen that's going to be visible when you're looking through the AR headset. So then you go ahead and hit launch. In this case, we're going to say continue anyways. And that's what you're going to see. Now, unfortunately for you guys, you're going to see this double image. When you're looking through the AR headset, obviously it comes through as one image that looks awesome. So hopefully this isn't going to look too terrible when you're viewing it, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. Okay, so once you get that all in the tray, you stand by your beacon, you get your lightsaber, you push the button on the lightsaber, and the game will start. You can see the little circle in the middle. This is basically where you're looking with the headset. So this is basically how you go around and you go through the menus and you go through everything in here. So this is the main screen that you see. It's basically this little solar system with the 5 different planets in it. You have Naboo, which is the one you start at, Garal, Lothal, Hoth, and Takodana. I'm probably not saying that correctly, but that's what it is. You also have the core, which is when you go around these so many times, then the core will open up. I obviously haven't made it there yet, but that's what happens. So when you go to, when you start off at Naboo. You click on Naboo, and you come up with this. This is what you see on each one of these planets. You have the Lightsaber Duel, you have the Strategic Combat, and you have the Holo Chess. So if you go into one of these, and we'll start with the Holo Chess, it comes up with another 3 items here, and it's basically a level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1, level 2 is, it gets a little bit harder as you go up. It introduces maybe some different characters or some different techniques, which you use all together when you get up to the main character up here in the middle, or the main level in the middle here. Especially on this first level, there's a lot of tutorial type stuff when you're going through each one of these 3 different sections. So let's go ahead and let's open up the Holo Chess here. So this is what you'll see. And you basically got to pick your guys and put them on the board. And as you move on, you'll be able to get more guys, and you'll be able to have a bigger selection. Obviously, not too exciting here. I have 3 guys. I have 3 spaces. As you gain new guys, then you'll have 10 guys, and you can pick however many you want. Well, however many spots are available. Now, the cool thing about all of this is, of course, it's AR, so you can move around the board. You can come over to this side if you want a better view, if you want to come over here. And let's start. So let's just pick a guy real quick just to show some movement. Bring him out here in the middle. And of course, they bring out their big bad guy here and kill me. And of course, then you get a chance to move again, and so on and so forth. This is the chess. That's how it works. You select your guy, point him at the enemy, and hopefully you make the right moves and you win. Let's back out of this, and you back out of these things by hitting the menu button on your headset, and it'll bring up this little screen here, so you can resume, restart, and quit. In this case, we're quitting. And we'll bring you back out to this main screen. Alright, and we're going to go back up to the planet, select back out, so we back out, and we're going to go to Strategic Combat now. This is what's called the Trial of Leadership. And again, you have the 3 different levels. And as you start out, you have, just a really, minor issue, minor goal to fix, and it kind of teaches you a little bit, and then the next one teaches you a little bit more, and then you go up and you use whatever you've learned to fight the big baddie here at the end. So let's go ahead and select that. And it lays this out on your floor, which of course is awesome. That's what AR is all about, right? And you have a goal. In this case, you want to get these ships to be able to take off. There's enemy tanks that are moving in, and you have to destroy them before they destroy your guys. When you bring your lightsaber up, it brings up this menu that allows you to pick different things to put on the field. So you can do, some different towers. You can bring out a guy here who's going to make your stormtroopers fight a little better. And you also have the opportunity to bring in Obi-Wan Kenobi, who will, help fight as well. He's kind of the hero guy, and he pushes back guys, and it's kind of your last resort. But so this is basically what the strategic combat is. It's pretty cool, but it takes a little bit of getting used to, especially with using the lightsaber and getting what you need down here. And see, I got one of my ships to take off, so I can bring in this ship now. And here's one of these tanks, and I can blow this guy up really fast now. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. And the sound effects are really pretty awesome. Obviously, my sound effects are not nearly as good. But again, I said if I can't, with the volume turned up all the way, you can't really hear me. So that's the strategic combat. We'll back out of this. Now, what everybody really wants to see, of course, is the lightsaber dueling. That's what you get this for. I mean, let's be honest. It's what everybody wants to do. You got this awesome replica lightsaber. You get to come in here and fight these guys like Darth Maul and Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, these kind of guys. It's really pretty awesome. And again, you have the 3 different levels. The first level is pretty easy. Second level is a little harder. Third level is the hardest one. And it kind of, brings together everything that you learned from the 2 levels before. Now, the first time you go through it, each time you go through these first 1 and 2 levels, you learn a little bit something new. The holocron character teaches you a little bit of something. The second time you go through, you don't have that. It's just you get into the action, you just go. So with the robots, and later on you'll fight stormtroopers and snow troopers and those kind of guys. And basically, when you're doing these, the guys are walking at you and they're shooting at you, and you gotta block the lasers. And you know what? Let's take a look at that. So we'll go in here real quick. Before we get to that, let's talk about this. This is your, you know what? We'll save this for when we get to the actual Darth Maul, because it gives you a little bit more to look at there. So we'll just go ahead and go past this and talk about that in a minute. So you come in here, it tells you to get your position ready and turn on your lightsaber, and there you go. So here's these guys, the robots. You got to block your lasers or you get hit. If they get close enough, you can cut them in half, cut their heads off. And basically this is what you got. Now this doesn't seem too exciting because these guys are pretty easy. It's the first level. But as it goes on, there's different guys, stormtroopers, the different robots that shoot a lot faster and are a lot more difficult. So let's back out of this. So let's go right to Darth Maul. So here are the different force powers that you get, and you gain these as you go through the game. You have your primary force power, which is right here. This one is push. It kind of knocks your guy back a little bit. You have a shield. You have one that makes you move a little bit faster, which really basically makes the guy move a little slower, so you can hit him a little bit quicker and not have to worry about getting hit. But there's obviously a fourth one, which I haven't gotten yet. You gain those as you go through. You also have these passive powers. There's a lot more of those, and these are things like you gain health as you go through, as you stagger an enemy, or you get a little bit more time for the critical strikes, which show up when you're fighting the enemy. In this case, we'll go ahead and stay with resilience. So you get to choose those. There's obviously a lot more that I haven't gotten. You'll get those as you go through. Say begin. Now when you come in here, you'll see these yellow lines that will pop up. And those are basically, you need to block. So you line up your lightsaber with those yellow lines, and that's how you block what's coming in. So let's go ahead and get the lightsaber going. There's Darth Maul. Up here you have his health. He comes in, you got to line up. And as you get so many of these in a row, you'll have an opportunity for a critical strike. And the lightsaber, there's your critical strike. The lightsaber does vibrate, so you have a little bit of feedback as well there. And you can see if you take enough hits, you start to get this grid showing up down here, and that lets you know that you're starting to get hit a little bit. Now here's my force power. I can activate that, and so you can see my lightsaber is off target. Alright, so not doing so well while I'm trying to explain this, but I'm pretty much gonna get killed here. There we go. So I'm dead. But that's basically the lightsaber dueling. I didn't do very well because I was talking, but usually, you know, all you gotta do is line up on those yellow markers. You block, the critical strikes show up. You hit them in the path that it's showing, and you just try and not die. It's a lot of fun. That one really didn't look like there was a whole lot to it. As you move forward, you got to do a little bit more. You got to actually dodge, so you have to lean or kind of crouch to the left or to the right, or even crouch straight down. So you actually do have to move around a little bit. Later on, some of the guys will call out stormtroopers, and they'll shoot at you while he's dueling. So you have to block the stormtrooper fire as well. So it does get a lot harder. When I first started it, I thought it was really easy, and I was like, well, I sure hope it's fun, but I sure hope it gets a lot harder, because it's going to get boring pretty quick if this is all you're doing. They didn't disappoint me, and it definitely got a lot harder as you move forward. So there you go. That's the lightsaber dueling. Back out of that. And we'll come back to the main screen. Now the other thing, last thing I want to show you on here is if you do hit the menu button, you'll come back out to this screen. And this is basically showing you how far you've gotten in each of the three different playing games there that you got. The Trials of Insight is the Hollow Chess. Obviously I haven't played much of that. The Trials of Leadership is the combat, the strategic combat. And then the Trials of Combat here is the obviously the lightsaber dueling. And as you can see, as you go through here, you get the different planets, and as you get further in here, then on the second level, it looks like you get to go to the core. Then you also have settings. Here you can crank the sound back up, turn on or off the 3D sound. Here's where you can change your lightsaber color, and you can see here there's the blue, there's green, and there's purple, which I have yet to unlock. And it also gives you the battery levels for your phone, the headset, and the lightsaber. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you your levels for the base unit there, the tracking unit, but or I'm sorry, the beacon. But you can just throw new batteries in that when that's time. So there you go. That is basically the app. This is basically what you're going to see. Hopefully, it wasn't too obnoxious with having the two screens up there. I wish there was a better way for me to show you exactly what you're going to see, but that's the best way I could do it. We'll take a look at some of the demo videos that they have for it, which will show it, you know, put together a little bit better. But I thought it would be neat to kind of show you exactly what you're going to see, exactly what I'm seeing when I'm playing with this actual device. The one bad thing, again, I will mention about this, is that there is no way to exit the app. You can't, you can see if we go in here to menu, there's no exit, there's no close, nothing like that. No button combination will get you out. Basically, you take the headset off, you pull the phone out, and you use the back button or the home button or whatever to
to close out the app, and that's it. I confirmed that with Lenovo. There's no other way to do it. Hopefully they add something later on. I mean, it's not really a big deal, but it does seem like I'm kind of doing something doing something bad when I'm not closing it out the right way. So if you're looking for the exit, there isn't one. Not a big deal, but there you go.
Okay, so there we go. That is the Lenovo Jedi challenges. Basically, this thing is just a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan in the world. I've mentioned that before, but this is just fun to play. The strategic combat is interesting. The hollow chest is fun. But really, you know, what everybody comes for is the lightsaber dueling. I took this over to my family's house when we did, you know, had a birthday party, and everybody wanted to play it. Everybody got involved. You look goofy playing it, but you know, it's a lot of fun, and everybody was laughing. And it you know, people who don't, you know, aren't into sci-fi or anything like that, they still want to jump in. They still want to play. It is a fun game. It is definitely worth getting. You know, if you're a Star Wars fan, and even if you're not, and you just want a fun game for people to play and to laugh at everybody who's playing, this is definitely something to get. I would definitely recommend it. So you do need to use a phone with this, of course. And there is a series of different phones that Lenovo has said is compatible, and just about, you know, any of the main phones that are out right now, the flagship phones that are out right now, will work. You know, there's the iPhone 6s, 6 Plus, 6, 8s, the 7s, those all worked. Google Pixel XL, G6. Of course, I've got the Moto Z2 Force that they sent along that works great with this. Samsung Galaxy S8, S7. All of those work great. I do have the S8 Plus. It's a little too big to fit into that that tray. It does fit with a little bit of maneuvering, but I really wouldn't recommend it. It was really difficult to get in and really difficult to get out. So you know, you take that chance if you're using a phone that doesn't quite fit. There's a lot of phones that will work with it. And you know, you should check that out before you buy it to make sure that whatever phone you have will work. Again, there's the three different games that are in there. It's the lightsaber dueling, the hollow chess, and the strategic combat. Depending on what you like, you might like one more than the other. All the pieces, you know, seem to be put together really well. I mean, there's not a whole lot to the beacon. The lightsaber is definitely the coolest piece that it comes with. It's put together really well, and it just is awesome to use. The headset, it's all plastic, but you know, it seems pretty sturdy. It's got bumped around quite a bit when we've been playing with it, and we haven't had any problems with it. I wish the headset was a little more adjustable, especially for the smaller heads, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. Let's see the other issues that I had with it. It is a little bit heavy, but again, once you get it adjusted right, you don't really notice the heaviness. I don't want to really put that down as a con, because you know, it just is going to depend on different people. Once you get into playing it, you don't really notice it, and when you get it adjusted right, I think it really takes a lot of the weight off and makes it feel a little bit better. The exiting of the app is a little annoying, but really not a big deal. As long as they say that's the way to do it and you're not going to mess the game up, then hey, go ahead. That's really about it. Again, I had a lot of fun playing with this. I'm really going to be sad to send it back. It's a demo unit, so I don't get to keep it, but we're probably going to start looking maybe for Christmas and seeing if it's something that we can buy, because the whole family just has a lot of fun with this. And if you're looking for something interesting to get for Christmas, I would definitely check this out, or just for a gift for anybody for any time. It's a lot of fun. Definitely check it out. So that's it. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, give us a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks again for joining us here at HyperDog Digital, and we'll talk to you again soon.